Ida Chavez of The Intercept did some great work here. Take a look at a new member of Biden's circle, or a new old member of Biden's circle. Longtime Biden advisor, lobbied on behalf of Trump's corporate tax cut. Cynthia Hogan worked as a top lobbyist for Apple and led the NFL's lobbying division during a high-profile domestic violence scandal. She also helped craft the crime bill, 3 strikes laws. She played a role in that. And she's a longtime DC corporate insider, clearly. Now, by the way, this is like, you wonder where this culture of corporatism and neoliberalism comes from. And you have to understand, it's everybody in that Democratic consultant world. Everybody. There's the revolving door of politics. So, you go into Democratic politics and then, you leave and you get paid for a while. You go to Wall Street. You go to work for some financial company that you really get paid, and then eventually you go back to Washington, D.C., and you play a role there. And so they don't think, they genuinely don't think that this is corrupt. They think, what do you mean? This is just how it is. This is how it works. We have people who go back and forth from the government world to the corporate world, and the government world and the corporate world. And it's just, they can't conceive of another way of doing it. Now, I'm, of course, here to tell you, there are other ways to do it. You can hire academics for your administration. You can hire economists for your administration. You can hire labor leaders for your administration, or activists for your administration. There's a bunch of different kinds of people, some people who are genuinely in this for community service and well-being of others, and for academic and intellectual thought, philosophical thought. There are all sorts of people that exist in this world that are doing it for the right reasons. But in third way politics, ever since, the Bill Clinton model of the Democratic Party took hold, this is everybody in those environments. They're all career ladder climbers. They don't care much for political thought or philosophy or improving everybody's lives. It's just the old school corporate world of I want to climb the ladder, and I want to make a name for myself, and I want to be phenomenally wealthy. And so that's where you get a situation where a top Democratic aide lobbied for the signature Republican policy proposal that became law. This was the Bush tax cuts on steroids. The Trump tax cuts, 83% of the benefits went to the top 1%. That bill incentivized outsourcing, even as Trump pretended like he's against outsourcing. It was a giant cut in the corporate tax rate. And a Biden advisor was lobbying for it. One of the other things she did is she worked with the NFL when they had the domestic violence scandal when it came to Ray Rice. And she argued for a non-zero tolerance policy on domestic violence. So her case, you shouldn't be fired in a situation where there's domestic violence. This is the same person. She was also involved in writing the Violence Against Women Act. And then she went to go work for the NFL to say, a little bit of domestic violence is acceptable. We shouldn't have a zero tolerance policy. Worked for Apple to try to get those corporate tax cuts. This is who she is. This is who everybody surrounding Biden is. I mean, Neera Tanden, do we even need to get into that? I mean, her laundry list of terrible things that she's done and said. And I mean, she punched Faz Shakir when Faz Shakir dared to ask Hillary Clinton about her vote for the Iraq War. She punched him. This is a person who casually said that we should steal Libya's oil to help pay down our deficit. These are the people that Joe Biden is surrounding himself with. People who are on the payroll, by the way, not just of U.S. corporations, but also foreign interests like Saudi Arabia and Israel. Now, by the way, it's not that the Republicans are holier than thou. Of course they're not. But why is it that the Democratic Party, a main aide in the Democratic Party for the Democratic president, was an advocate for the signature right-wing proposal? These are the kinds of people you want to hire? And the answer is yes. They don't even view it as a possibility to hire academics or economists or labor leaders or activists, real people with real ideologies. No, In their mind, corporatism is the default setting. And if you disagree with it, you're just naive. They think you just don't know how the world works. Like, this is how it works. You go to Washington, and you go to work in the private sector, you get paid, and then you go back to Washington and rinse and repeat. That's how it works. And a lot of smug people think, these are serious people that have experience. Yeah, serious experience, like passing Donald Trump's signature accomplishment and lobbying for it. This is evil stuff, man. This is your Democratic Party. We don't have a Democratic Party. We have a Republican Party and a Republican Light Party. A Republican Party and a Diet Republican Party. These are the kinds of people who will be in the room as Joe Biden is making decisions. People who are for colossal tax cuts for the wealthy and corporations. It's almost beyond parody, isn't it?